Hello guys, welcome back to part 3 of our Olga ww2 project. The last video I showed you this part here. I put also now the BFO coil in, so I will show you a bit what I've done. So the front, the BFO switch, the bottom part of the, let's see if you can see it, yeah, the bottom part, I moved this bracket and switch 3 times already, so to get them in the right place. Well, all this is in the build of this. You put it down and think it is in the right place, and when you get on in the build and you discover that it is not in the right place, and eventually it ends up in the right place. So there you go, you have always all the wires here from the coils, so it's quite easy. So what I'm going to do next is start off the build of the wiring and to putting the parts in place. And the last thing we will do is the coils, the reception coils and the oscillator coils. So that will be a job. Don't underestimate that. That will be a job, because we have not a 250-275 capacitor in here. We have a 2 times 450 picofarad capacitor. So that makes a big difference. And on top of that, we have now 15 millimeters on diameter on the former for the coils. We have 19 millimeters, so that makes a difference as well. So this, let's say it this way: a shot in the dark, where you're going to start off on. So I had some provisional calculations done already, but anyway, I think I'm going to do this band for band. You know, there are 2 bands on this, so you work from 3.5 until 16 megahertz. So my first guess is 3.5 to 9 megahertz, and from there 9 megahertz up to 16 or 18 megahertz. So I have to see that. Anyway, there's a more difficult part. It's not an oscillator I did quite often. I made one of them. Fortunately enough, I have about the, how you call that, in comparison the turns on the schematic here, so it won't be that big of a job. So anyway, it will be you know, a nice thing to do. So anyway guys, I'm going to collect my parts now and start off the filaments and go from there, okay? And we will have great fun to put it all together. Then we try with 455 kilohertz to line up those coils. I measured that coil, the BFO coil, with the capacitor in there. He ends up with dipping on 2 megahertz, under 2 megahertz. If you want to employ the BFO, we should be in around 455 as well. So it should all be a little bit lower or higher, depending on. So we I know exactly how. That's 220 picofarads added to it. So I have to see how I'm going to fix that between the valve and the coil. That's all a bit in the air still, but we'll manage. So guys, I will shut the video down and come back to you when I'm not far, okay? Hi guys. Well, it took me a little while to get those coils ready. So this is not what I said beforehand. I still had the feeling, well, I had to do that first. So we have here our two bands, and this one is the lower band, and this one is the higher band. This L1, L1 is the oscillator, and L4 is the reception coil. And here we have a look, L2 is the oscillator, this one, and this one is the reception. That's L3, okay, yeah, L2 and then they belong together. So now we have to connect them up like this, and we'll get those two out of the way because they are all the same. I put them in the box so I can't get any harm to it. Now I have to connect them together, if you know what I mean, like this. So the screening comes between this, and we have to connect them up like this. Well, I was thinking putting a bolt through it, like this one. Yeah, but that is not going to work, because the induction boot travels through our bolt, and then it will influence everything, so that's not what we want. So we've done something different here, and have some round wood here, right here. What I'm going to do is cut a piece off of this, like that, and then drill them through, so we get a smaller bolt in there, and then we slice them up again, two parts, and then we mount them on our screen. That's how I'll show you. I'll put this to the side, you know what I mean. I've got my capacitors, little tuning capacitors or trimmers. I got them out of my stack. So yeah, I needed them as well. So I'll put that to the side for a moment. Hold on, chaps. I'll put this away for a minute. Now, I get my oscillator. Oh god. There we go. Let's have a look if you can see it properly. I will try to show you again. There we go. Zoom out a little bit, I suppose. Only a little bit. So, keep focusing. Okay, I focusing. Now I show you what I meant. We can put that wood in between here, like that. Alright. We cut it off, drill a hole through it, get a bolt through that, and then we can fix it. What I'm going to do next, I will sort this off, and then drill that hole through it, and sort it again, and then I'll show you what I mean, okay? Hold on. So, there we are, guys. You can see it fixed already on the receiver. So this is the reception coil. See, it's a little wood underneath, so we can fix it on that. And then so the other side will be just the same. It's an easy way of fixing it, isn't it? So what we have to do now is to try those coils. We put a lot of effort into to wind them and all, and there are the proper windings on there anyway, or the turns on there. Before I'm going to fix them on here permanently, I will try out our oscillators this side. See how it comes along, see with the dipper. We do that together. But first we want to try this with the dipper, of course, and then we see how this goes from there. We will connect up our oscillator down here. Can you see that? Yeah, just that. So there's our oscillator and our amplifier, antenna amplifier. So we're going to try that. And if we're sure that it gives us the result we expect, then we will fix them permanently, and that will be it. See, if I fix them permanently now, they are no good. And here are in the, you know what, we're not going to do that. Another point I want to make is I had a little trouble with my tuning capacitor. I thought it was on one half it was broken. I managed to fix that. So anyway guys, I will shut down the video here again, and then I'll come back to you when I have more, okay? There you are guys, all four on there. So I couldn't resist to show you. So anyway, you see where we're going with this. So I will collect my things now and start off the build of the radio, okay? Okay guys, what I've done is put my terminal capacitors here and there. I put them in. I made the connection with the tuning capacitor on the back here, made the connection there onto the switch, and then from off the switch onto the valve. So if we've done that, the next thing we have to do is connect our wires up. So, but I'm waiting now to let the glue dry. I know I said I wouldn't do the gluing before I tested it, but I can, well, I'm absolutely sure those turns on those coils are okay. The only thing we have to consider is our can you see that? Yeah. Well, those here, the oscillator coils, I have to see that. Well, I will connect them up and we'll test them, dip them. I'm absolutely sure they are on the right frequency, but there again. And also there will be some trimmers there, trim capacitors. They should be on that side as well. There. I have to see how I'm going to do this. I'm going to solder. I took a little bolt here. Like that. I soldered them up on there like that. So that's what I've done. So now the bolt is sticking out of the other side, and I see have to see what I'm going to do. It could be that I drill here a hole again next to the switch. I don't know. See how it works out. If you have to be coupled like that. So you can see there's a lot of work involved, and it takes some doing. So the next thing I'm going to do is connect, when I was dry, connect those wires up to the trimming capacitors, and the trimming capacitor onto the switch, and then I will our antenna coil, I will get them on there, and our earth connection will be on the switch. So there's this wire goes onto the switch. All the wires from earth, all the chassis will be on this one point. So guys, so far so good. I will come back to you when I have more, okay? Okay guys, what I've done is put my terminal capacitors here and there. I put them in. I made the connection with the tuning capacitor on the back here, made the connection there onto the switch, and then from off the switch onto the valve. So if we've done that, the next thing we have to do is connect our wires up. So, but I'm waiting now to let the glue dry. I know I said I wouldn't do the gluing before I tested it, but I can, well, I'm absolutely sure those turns on those coils are okay. The only thing we have to consider is our can you see that? Yeah. Well, those here, the oscillator coils, I have to see that. Well, I will connect them up, and we'll test them, dip them. I'm absolutely sure they are on the right frequency, but there again. And also there will be some trimmers there, trim capacitors. They should be on that side as well. There. I have to see how we're going to do this. I'm going to solder. I took a little bolt here. Like that. I soldered them up on there, like that. So that's what I've done. So now the bolt is sticking out of the other side, and I have to see what I'm going to do. It could be that I drill here a hole again next to the switch. I don't know. See how it works out. You have to be coupled like that. So you can see there is a lot of work involved, and it takes some doing. So the next thing I'm going to do is connect, when I try, connect those wires up to the trimming capacitors, and the trimming capacitor onto the switch, and then I will our antenna coil, I will get them on there, and our earth connection will be on the switch. So there's this wire goes onto the switch. All the wires from earth, all the chassis will be on this one point. So guys, so far so good. I will come back to you when I have more. Okay. Hi guys. Well, we achieved the impossible. Anyway, yeah, well, impossible. It's not possible at all. So it just requires a lot of work. That's all. We're going to go do the last bit of this video. So I don't want to carry on that because there was a lot of time in there already. So I have to keep this off a minute. So I took off this coil about 4 turns, and I achieved for approximately 5 megahertz to 17 megahertz, or a bit higher. And this one I left alone. I didn't do anything with it. This is from 2.2 to 7.6, so they overlap, and that's all what we want, do we? So we achieved actually what we wanted to achieve, and that's about it. So about 4 turns I took off there, so that's the only possibility I had. Okay, let's have a look what you can see. So turn it a little bit. There you go. See, I put some parts on there already. A resistor 150 ohms and an 0.1 microfarad polyester capacitor, and I put a 47 resistor there, for 47k resistor in there. I made the connection to the other grid of the haptode. So the only thing we have to do next is get our filament in place and get all the connections up to the back of this switch. I have to do further. I have to do get those antenna coils connected up. There's not much to write home about, so that's quite easy. That's about it, chaps. So far as it goes with this video concerns. In the next video I will address our oscillators. We're starting off with the low one. We're starting off getting that into shape. When that works, then we switch over to the other one. So consequently, if you look at the oscillator coil here, it is obviously there have to go some turns have to go there, because he's namely near bigger now than our actual coil, reception coil. But I'll tell you what we're going to do is just install him and then get some juice on him, yeah, and get some voltage on that valve, and see what this coil does. See how far he goes up or goes down, so that we can overlap this. I put this on minimum capacitance, so this also. So we have to see, chaps, what will happen. Anyway, guys, it will be for this moment. It will be in a warm afternoon, a very warm afternoon. The last couple of days it was absolutely unbearable, so hot. So fortunately we have air conditioning, so we can drop the temperature if we want to. But anyway, we've just came in from outside, and really it is not doable actually. Anyway guys, I wish you all the best, and I'll see you the next time around, alright?